Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just be a couple minutes to let people filter in. Happy Rediscovery Day, everyone. I'm really excited to hear some Rediscovery stories.
Hello.
Okay. So this is Jurfles and Wanderwonder up here. And we've got ETHoard.
Hey, hey. Good morning.
How you doing?
/ afternoon, everybody. Doing good. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good. Getting nostalgic.
Yeah, me too, Jerps. For sure. Nice to hear your voice. It's been a little bit.
Yeah. Gotta catch up.
Yeah.
I know a lot's changed for you.
Things are crazy right now. And work's not letting up right now. The old day job. So it's all good, keeping me busy, and as you know, we got our little blessing baby boy. So yeah.
Aw.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. It was a mad rush because he came early and we weren't prepared. I didn't even have a hospital bag packed, and yeah, he was very eager. Everyone tells you
You wanted to
the first time is late and it takes a while and labor's a long time, and the body doesn't know how to push the baby out and all of that. That wasn't true in our case. I mean, he slid down he slid down a slide into the world and did it a couple weeks early, but no, it's great.
Yeah. I mean, you can't control the timing of a lot of things.
Well, you could definitely say that about MoonCats.
Some things come early, some things come late.
Exactly. And then all at once.
Give another minute or so to let people filter in. I can't believe it's been a year. It's been a crazy year for me, and my life has completely changed from where I was a year ago, and I know that's true for a lot of people here as well.
It's been a wild ride.
Yeah. Because people filter in, give a little structure to the spaces. So, it's Rediscovery Day, and we're going to memorialize that today by having this Twitter space where we'll hear firsthand from the people who were a part of Rediscovery and the people who helped make it happen. I also mentioned that we have some fun announcements this week for Rediscovery Week, so stay tuned. And I'm excited to talk about one of them at the end of this. So for the structure of the space, first I'm going to give an overview with Wanderwonder of MoonCatRescue and kind of set the stage for the Rediscovery. And we'll try to keep this brief because there are some really exciting stories to tell. And we actually weren't around for most of Rediscovery Day. And I know people want to hear those stories first and foremost. And then we're going to hear from ETHoard. And then if Alan and Justin arrive, I'll invite them up to speak. They were really pivotal in getting the community together. ETHoard was really pivotal in finding the project and the contract. And after that, we'll open up the floor to hear your rediscovery stories. And at that point in the spaces, if you want to share your story, please just request to speak and we'll try to pull you up. We want to hear about your experience, what you were feeling, how you got involved, how it's affected your life. Were you a crypto veteran, or was MoonCats your first foray into the world of NFTs? Was it the first time you interacted with a smart contract directly? We want to hear about all of that, and then we'll wrap up. Oh, hey, Justin, can invite you up.
Welcome.
How's it going? So I'll start by setting the stage for Rediscovery. MoonCatRescue is a project on Ethereum that Wanderwonder and I put together in the summer of 2017. At the time, we thought of it as an exploration of user-discoverable blockchain collectibles. We had seen what CryptoPunks did, and we thought, hey, this is a really cool space. What can we add to it? Users would go to the site, and they'd click a button to search for a valid cat ID, which represented one of the possible billions of MoonCats. And this search, took anywhere from a few seconds to a minute, depending on how much processing power you put behind it. And then once you found a cat, you could decide whether you wanted to rescue it or not, bring it onto the chain or not. And only 25,344 MoonCats could be rescued, plus there was some more special Genesis MoonCats. And so the decision of whether you wanted to rescue it or not, it was up to you, but there's only so many slots. So it's August 2017, we release it. Beforehand, we posted about it on Twitter and Reddit. And that first day, we saw some MoonCats getting rescued. It was really exciting to see people using it, but promotion was not our strong suit. We thought the contract in the site spoke for itself, and well, the contract sat there without all of the MoonCats being rescued for several years. There was a few thousand rescued in 2017, a couple more thousand in 2018, and then a trickle here and there. 2018. Life happened, and I got a normie day job to pay the bills. We didn't make any money off of the rescue directly. The MoonCats were free to rescue, and the Genesis MoonCats, which were not free, that ETH was sent to the zero address, not us. Oops.
Yeah, it was really undermarketed on our part, to be sure. And over the years after that, we kept the site up, but it did suffer some bit rot. In the spirit of Web3, we knew the contract would always be there, and we had designed the site with fallback so that the mining algorithm, the actual searching for MoonCats functionality, could continue functioning if the web front end ever disconnected from the blockchain. And it was with a heavy heart. So back then, there wasn't Infura. You had to run your own nodes, and going in, I think. So it was relatively expensive keeping the backing node running for the MoonCatRescue site to pull data. And as we watched the rescues go to a trickle and then flatline, Heavy Heart made the decision in, I think, December 2018 to shut down the backing node. But we kept the site up. We hoped that one day the MoonCats would be found and the rescue mission would be completed.
And that day was 1 year ago. So I'm going to kick it over to ETHoard and Justin. So ETHoard, you were doing some digging around that time, and you came across the site on some random forum.
Yeah, I guess to jump back a couple of steps, I guess, big hat tip here to Justin. And I did write this up on the Discord, kind of a really long story, and I apologize it's so long, but I did want to, I just started writing and it just kept coming out. But yeah, so Justin is an OG in the space, and I mean, I feel honored just to kind of be up here with him, and Alan is amazing too, and everything that he's brought to the space. I've been around in crypto for a decent amount of time, but was not a firm believer in NFTs until really kind of towards the end of 2020. I really get interested in and start to do some research. It kind of all started with Beeple. I think a lot of people probably were first introduced, which is kind of crazy now because how far he's fallen in interest, at least. And I mean, he's still chugging away every day. And I think, in the years to come, he's going to come back in the spotlight. I know he did some controversial things or whatever with the whole ETH sales, but yeah. So that's when I started getting interested in it. And eventually, I don't know, you start following people on Twitter, and Justin was one of the guys that was constantly bringing all this alpha info, whatever. So yeah, I turned the notifications on for him. I didn't really think he might even been one of the first people, at least in crypto Twitter, that I turned notifications on for. And it just so happened that, yeah, I mean, maybe a couple weeks after I turned it on, he had this tweet about the kind of rediscovery or whatever of CryptoCats. And yeah, I'd been like waiting for some opportunity to get some like old project, because I could no longer afford a punk, even though I wanted one when I could have afforded one, but it would have kind of been a big chunk of my portfolio. It was so hard to understand. It's so much easier now to be like, yeah, these things are amazing. Before, it's like, I just kind of want to be one of the cool kids with a punk profile, and should I do it or should I wait? Because I think they're just so popular right now, and they'll get less popular again soon. And that was wrong. that was a bad call. But then I saw that tweet about 30 minutes, because I didn't have my phone on me. Jumped my computer, and yeah, I missed out. I missed out by minutes. Like, I could see the transactions on Etherscan going through, a lot of pending ones, and yeah, I didn't pick one up. They instantly went to, I don't know, 5-10 ETH. And I just sat there stewing in my own rage of like, why didn't I have my phone on me? I missed this opportunity. I definitely, like, I was so close. And then yeah, so that was 3:11 in the evening, here on the West Coast, and then I just started just Googling everything, like old NFTs and everything I could. And then I just started also Googling CryptoCats, and then, I don't know, on like page 3 or 4 or something, I found this old product. I'd never heard of Product Hunt. I don't know if anyone has, but I clicked on it, and I saw it was like the announcement in 20, and a tip too, if anyone, I know at this point everyone scoured the internet, but a big easy thing was to, NFTs weren't a term back then, so you had to use different words, but to use the search tool, so you're only seeing old stuff, right? And that's how at least I found this, right? I was only looking for stuff from like 2016 to the beginning of 2018, and yeah, this page came up. You scroll down to the bottom, some random user named X Time Traveler, which is very apropos of a name, calls out and has a URL too. You didn't just say MoonCat, like this is like MoonCats. He said, this is too much like MoonCatRescue.com. You could just straight out click it from his comment. So I did. And then, yeah, I saw the webpage, and I was like, what is this? This thing is so unique looking. Like, it's got this whole like verbose kind of style to it, right? This like, just like very thematic. And then, yeah, you get to the like part where you're on the moon and you're seeing the spinning moon, and then it spits out this like pixelated cat, and I was like, whoa, what? It's like, what was this? At the time, actually, not even at the time, like now, probably one of my like top 3 favorite things about MoonCats is the process of getting one, right? I mean, we can delve into the advanced part because the front end wasn't working, but just in general, right? Like, I am sick and tired of like every project just being like, click me, minted, done, pay me, click me, done. There's no work, there's no effort, there's no like adventure. And this obviously brought it, and this brought it way early, right? I mean, even like the projects back then, they were, I don't think anyone really thought of some sort of, like process to get one. Obviously, with CryptoPunks, right, you could just go on their website, and like, you didn't even like get a surprise of which one you got. You got to like, if there was an alien available, you could click on the alien and it was yours. So this was really cool with that, but obviously I couldn't connect my MetaMask. And so I kept doing a little more searching, and found the old Reddit thing. I mean, now everyone goes crypto Twitter, but on the last cycle, it was like exclusively Reddit. And it's crazy that we thought that way too, because yeah, things were so much slower through Reddit, right? You got to do the post, you got to get the upvotes, and now you could just send out tweets and people see it instantly. But yeah, there there was a whole subreddit, and one of them talked about a way to use the Etherscan contract. Now, it wasn't like Alan's step-by-step, procedural way to do it. So I just knew it could be done. And actually, in fact, if you looked on Etherscan, yeah, you could see that not only had there been a couple of rescues over the years since it launched, just like we saw a couple and like very limited in 2020, and then some in 2019, and then also, yeah, I mean, I wasn't the only one rescuing them that night. I'm sure there were other people, because of the CryptoCats discovery, that probably stumbled upon it too, the same way that I did. I'm just kind of the guy that sent a tweet out and sat on my butt while Justin and Alan like worked their butts off. And, I just got to give them props. Like, I remember seeing how much like triage and customer support and tech service and everything that they were doing and building up the Discord. I mean, these guys were working like all day, every day. I know Justin has a kid. I don't know how he did it, because now I understand what that's like. But finally, after trial and error, rescued the first cat, and that was like my first cat, and that was like the best feeling on earth. I don't know if anyone else has done DIY stuff, or like, I know my washer dryer broke once, and I was like, man, this is gonna cost me like $500 to bring someone in. And I watched enough YouTube videos and like found the most common problem that would have caused it, opened it up, bought some part on $3, and like installed it, and all of a sudden my dryer was heating my clothes again, and it was like the best feeling ever, right? So it was similar to that, and yeah, so I grabbed the first one, which is I believe the first one, or at least that's the one that I used in my tweet, is Balthazar. That guy is mine forever. I named him, and that's my pick on Discord. On Twitter, I don't, for whatever reason, I don't know. Anyway, sidetrack. So then I grabbed 3 more. You could see from my tweets, I mean, I am such an idiot when it comes to value that I just like, this was the experience. This was fun. There's so many of them, and they don't necessarily make the best profile picks. So I don't know if they're going to have some huge value, but it was so fun. Like, I grabbed 4. I thought that was it. I sent the tweet out. I went to sleep. As we know, the next day was madness. I mean, I think it was the #1 gas contract on Etherscan, beating, I think, even like Uniswap for a little bit. And yeah, so I don't know, kind of fast forward, and all the madness is going on. And I guess kind of the second part that I played was just noticing that, the ponderware account hadn't tweeted in years, and I don't think they know about this. And everyone on Discord and on, actually, I don't think we had a clubhouse yet, but everyone on Discord was like, where are the devs? Where's ponderware? Do they know what's going on? There's all this uncertainty. What are they going to do? Are they got rugas? Blah, blah, blah. So I did some internet sleuthing. I have a little skill in that. And I was able to find some breadcrumbs, and reached out to several individuals that all shared the same name as jurfles. And it's funny too. I had a big red herring. I was like, there was like the actual jurfles that I was like, okay, it could be him, but I don't know. And then there was this other person that was like an assistant professor at a university in computer science and programming. And I was like, this is them. And same name, like, this is them. And yeah, they actually responded back that they weren't affiliated with MoonCatRescue like 2 weeks later, once I was like, oh wow, this person finally got back to me and was like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're taking crazy pills. But yeah, so the real Jurfles did, he did hear my call, I think through work or something. His boss was like, what the hell is going on here? And so he called me and left a message because I missed his call. And yeah, it was so funny hearing the voicemail. He was like, I'm intrigued and confused, and what are you talking about? But yeah, I'm involved, and I'd love to talk. And so I called him right back, and we had a blast. I mean, he is definitely a person that as we all know at this point, like, both him and David were. This is not some like cash grab, and obviously they let the community run. I mean, look at the main webpage is a community webpage now, and yeah, can't say enough good stuff about them and what they want to do for the project and do what was right for everyone. We all know that. But yeah, it was so fun getting to tell him, and then he told David, and he just like, what? Are you kidding me? Like thousand? He was like 18,000 cats all got rescued like in the last couple hours. Like, how is that possible? So yeah, that's pretty much the madness that I played, and I'd love to pass it over to Justin, who he deserves way more credit than I do. That's for sure.
No, I don't think that's true at all. Yeah, what a fun day. Thanks, by the way, for inviting me on. Super fun to come and talk with everybody and reminisce. But I do remember, I mean, it feels like a long time ago to me now. And a lot of people are saying it feels like yesterday. To me, it feels like a long time ago. I don't know what that means, but so much has happened. But yeah, like during that time period, it's funny because it felt like there was a lot of people that were getting into NFTs, fast forward to now a year later. And it's just like, I mean, I feel like it did basically what I thought it would take like 10 years to do. But, a year ago, things were way different. There were like, maybe a few thousand big time, maybe, I don't know, less than a few even big time NFT nerds. And we really were interested in like the purity of early stuff, like for me, like punks really resonated. I mean, no one knew that or thought, well, I mean, I think people speculated that this stuff could be super valuable way in the future, but that it would take probably like quite a long time for it to catch on into the mainstream. But like for me, I was always hanging out in punk's Discord most of the days, and I think it was Cry started talking about CryptoPunk, MoonCats, and it was literally the day after the CryptoCat stuff. And so I was like, are you kidding me? Like another cat thing? This can't be real. Like first I thought it was a joke basically. And then so I dug a little further, saw Alan's tweet. Shout out to Alan. He did a great job, like really breaking it down to explain step by step how people could use the contract to mint. And like for me, it just I don't know. I'm like not I've never been a good like fill and chill type of person. I just was like, this is really at first in the punks Discord, I said, no way. I'm like, there's not even like, how are you even going to sell these things? Like, there's no marketplace. Doesn't really make any sense. But I mean, they were free to claim. It was gas only, and it just like seemed like fun to be part of, a historical project, and I wanted more people to be part of it too. So I, like tweeted out about it and started trying to spread the word, which was I think funny to a lot of the people in Punk's Discord because like maybe like 10 minutes earlier I was talking about how like there's no way this could be real, and then fast forward a little while later and some guy had created it, and I was forwarding people to this Discord that some guy had made, and that was going to be like the unofficial Discord. But then people were messaging me saying like this guy's created a channel where he's like pumping his own cats, saying how like they're super rare and all this, and it just like didn't make any sense to me. It sounded like not a great thing for the community, so I just spun up a new Discord and kind of shoveled everybody over there. And then we were kind of working day and night trying to keep the community active together. And then people came along and created a unofficial wrapper, and then I mean, within probably 24 hours, like there was ability to have an actual marketplace. So it was super fun to see like how much could be done when you get a community together and really rally around something. I think the purity to me, like the purity of people who actually like were and this goes back to the devs, because like they created the project out of like curiosity and thinking, what you could do, right? Like they saw like the punk stuff, but they didn't just do a copycat of the punk's contract. I mean, they created a whole lore, and when you did go to mint, it was really cool because you like push the button and then you would get like a random cat that would pop up, and it was like that was just like super neat drop mechanism too, that was very different from the way like punks went down, like ETHoard was just saying. So I found that like it was just really cool how they did it their own way. And I also think that the lore is like something that's pretty glossed over, because now you see a lot of people talking about lore and projects, and I think it resonates with people. So there's so many things really that MoonCats did do, and we're way ahead of their time. And props to the devs for having the vision to do something different and explore and be curious with the new technology. Yeah, and pixel art's always kind of like resonated with me, and it just seems like a great fit, and also like super cool because MoonCats was like the first cat NFT, and obviously cats are um, a huge internet phenomenon, but also like with NFTs, they've played a large role. So yeah, pretty fascinating, really, that they sat dormant as long as they did. Yeah, I just I mean, still now looking back, it was just so funny to me because I really did not. I really thought it was a joke at first because of Crypto Cats the day before. I mean, it was just so funny to me, and it was in a total about face, because I was like, no, this must be like this can't be possibly be real, the day after Crypto Cats, and it was a fun time because it seemed like every day something new was kind of being discovered, and that's neat. That was a cool thing, especially for like people that hadn't necessarily been around a few years before and didn't take part in stuff like punk claims and everything, and there was a lull between all that time. So to expect developers to hang around and like have a Discord and everything, I mean, there just wasn't like really a big enough community to foster that. um and so yeah, that really, like, no blame for not having a presence, because nobody really did. I mean, like, there was the punks Discord, but it was really not very active at all, for that time period between the claim and got more active like a few years down the road, and especially like in early 2020 really started to heat back up. But yeah, I'm definitely honored to have like any kind of role in the rediscovery, and to have been able to claim a bunch of MoonCats, and I look forward to seeing what happens in the future. I think it's interesting to me, like everything's considered OG now, but we're only like 5 years in, really, for the most part, in this new, I don't know what you would even call it. I mean, it's like a new delivery system for art in the future, and just the digital presence of like rare assets on the blockchain. I mean, it's something that I think for like nerds like me, and and obviously like developers who dove deeper into actually like doing the building. I mean, thanks to the developers for making this stuff. Like I'm a nerd, and I like to see new things, but I don't dive deep enough, to actually do like the coding. I think everybody has like their different roles that they play or have played like throughout NFT adoption, and like for me, it's always been more of like surface level. I know a little about a lot of things, or I think a lot of the developers know a lot about code, right? So like everybody plays their roles, and I mean, I think you kind of seen recently, like with Larva Labs, it's like they want to build cool stuff uh and release it, but they're not exactly like PR masters, right? So it takes the community really to step up and to play their role in marketing, and I guess hire PR agencies and marketers and stuff like that too, and bring them onto the team as well. But yeah, I think it's a project that will continue to flourish and live on, in years and years to come. And so it's exciting to see how things have come so far, in only 1 year, and excited to see what happens next.
Thanks so much for sharing. Thank you for all the kind words. I'm really grateful that you two were there from the beginning and helped make it happen. And I love hearing the stories. It's as much as I would have wanted MoonCats to mint out all the cats to get rescued back in August of 2017. It's so much more magical that everyone kind of just came across it in this way, and I think it actually makes it a lot more authentic, where everyone had to kind of gauge for themselves what it was and what it meant. And it's funny, there's this like roller coaster ride I'm hearing of, no, this is too good to be true, or like we're gonna get rugged, or this is it, this is like an old school project that's just sitting there. So it's a lot of fun to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, in retrospect, it's hard to imagine it being better than it ended up being in ways we could have never predicted. And yeah, like I agree. We were hoping for it to mint, when we launched, but in so many ways, this was so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really fits. Like, it's funny because the whole, I mean, literally being called MoonCatRescue and having the rescue element within the lore, and then years later having the rescue. I mean, it almost couldn't have worked out. I mean, it really almost feels like it's better that it ended up being that way, and they had to be rescued, and then they couldn't be rescued on the site. We had to figure out how to go around and go on the contract. And then that was also cool for people to learn how to use a contract. A lot of people had never done that before, and then they kind of got introduced to that technology. And it is, yeah, I mean, I think it just introduced a lot of people to the concept. And then it also was still pretty like pure too, because like I said earlier, like we didn't know if it was even going to be something that you could resell and have a marketplace. Nobody, the website marketplace wasn't working, obviously. So, and nobody knew, except for the super sleuth ETHoard, how to get in touch with the developers. So it's like there was no guarantee that the developers were going to come back. And yeah, it was just really like mind-boggling to me to see like an unofficial rapper come together so quick and stuff. Oh man, yeah, how fun. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it in a while, so that's pretty neat to think about how much happened so fast. It was like wait around for so long, and then all of a sudden, tons of stuff.
Yeah, I know Brooks has talked about and written about how fast everything got wrapped, and we went from MoonCats to MCAT 20.
Yeah, layers of DeFi built on MoonCats in hours.
Oh yeah,
I think
that happened too. I think NFTX had got the listing up pretty quick and stuff too. It was it was wild.
Hey Adam,
how's it going, guys? Yeah, this is awesome. It's so funny, like for people who think it like that feeling like it just happened yesterday. I'm with Justin, man. This is like it feels like 10 lifetimes ago to me. It's like so crazy. Because this day for me, I've said it a bunch of times. The MoonCat day, like I was part of the CryptoCats day. Like I can't believe it was only a day before, but I was part of was there when the CryptoCats were rediscovered. But MoonCats, for whatever reason, I guess it was just the beautiful way you guys built the claiming mechanism was just so memorable. And I'm constantly stunned that more projects today don't do something along that line. Like I don't get it. It like creates an experience for people, and that experience, that emotional connection, to to the thing you're minting is just incredibly valuable for in my view, for NFTs, like creating that emotional connection, which you guys did so elegantly. It's amazing. I just, it still, it brings a smile to my face still thinking about it. It was such an impactful day for me. It literally changed my life. I'm not, there's no way around it. Like, it completely changed my life, that day did. And yeah, great memories, man. Really good memories.
And Adam, I've mentioned this before, but it was, as I was grappling to get my head around Rediscovery and everything that was going on, I came across a YouTube video that you published about rescuing MoonCats, and it was your excitement, and that really tuned me in to like what was happening, and yeah, that was a pivotal moment in the Rediscovery for me, and I really appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
for me, yeah.
Oh,
Sorry,
sorry.
go ahead, man.
I'll never forget that. Like, Daddy, get the blue, Daddy, get the green. Like, the energy you brought on that was phenomenal, and it really was something that just, I think it really captured the moment better than, you know, any tweets going to. That's for sure. You get that emotion. It was great. But go ahead.
Yeah, it was super emotional for me. It really solidified like the next up till today, like the next year of my life for what I was doing. Um, because I mean, I've said it before, but it was just like this magical mix of like what we call archaeology now, but at the time, just like finding something from the past that had value, and the detective work of ETHoard, and my man, I could do it. I could do that too. And like it just solidified. I mean, it was literally that day happened, and I did this for 12 to 15 hours every day for the next like 7 months. Right? It was that impactful for me. And yeah, just amazing. And I know you all have heard my story before, but anybody who hasn't heard my story, it was literally like I found, I don't know, I guess it was I don't know if it was Justin's tweet or I think it was Justin's, and then that took me to Alan's and walked me through the process, and I like lazily minted like four, right? And then so I saw the tweet early because I then checked like the total amount of cats, and there were like more than 20,000 cats left, and I was like, I'm gonna go like make my kid lunch. He's like homeschooling, right? Because of COVID. Like we go have lunch. I come back and there's like nine, and like a half hour later, there's like 9,000 cats left. And I was like full freak mode. And I minted like 24 or 25 more cats, like rapid fire. My kid's looking them up. He's putting them in a Word or in a Google sheet, and I'm minting them, and we're going. And this is like the best day ever. And then I didn't know about gas. This is like the second NFT project that ever minted. I had no clue. Like, no, man, you got to go like fast gas. And I literally, all 24 of those transactions failed. And but I did get four. But it was like Justin said, big learning lessons for a lot of us. That was like real eye openers to the world of NFTs on that day. It was just so awesome and so layered. And the emotional connection to MoonCats. Like I'll always have a MoonCat, right? It's just such a deep connection. I know my kid will always have MoonCats because it's just something that special.
Wow.
I had a similar experience with my kid, who I guess he was like 4 at the time. So I was showing him the screen, and I'd never really seen him. He was just so excited to see the cats and all their colors, and that was kind of cool to see. And he liked that they were called MoonCats, like the idea of them coming from the moon, like for like a 4-year-old, that was just funny to see. So I'll definitely remember that always.
Absolutely. It's such a family friendly idea too, which is always, something that's guided it this whole time. And even on my end, right? It's not like I didn't have a kid at the time, but one of my best friends, the first person that I told about it, um, he immediately he's on old school with the phone only. He didn't know how to interact with the contract or any of that. But he was like showed it to his daughter, and his daughter loved it. And now, yeah, he rescued that next morning. He rescued three, I want to say, and yeah, one's his daughter's, and she's never letting it go. I mean, that's just kind of the specialness of kind of what these MoonCats represent. I don't think you could do it with like an ape. I don't think a 6-year-old girl is going to be like, oh, I love that ape. But who knows?
Man, I'd love to hear that. We've got some more people to share their stories. I think Rob, and then JakeIP, and then Cat Dad. Do you want to go, Rob?
Yeah, thanks for having me up. I want to say, unlike a lot of the people that have spoke so far, last March I was like a complete neophyte in the NFT and crypto world. I had just been brought in because on February 22nd I got interested in NBA Top Shot, and that kind of opened the door for me to explore crypto and NFTs and everything else. But when this was going down, I was completely clueless, and I've got to say, you know, folks like Justin and Alan and ETHoard were so friendly and so helpful to somebody like me who was probably asking the stupidest questions. And it actually makes me sad that folks today, a year later, that are coming into this space, you know, they're met with scammers at every corner. They're met with TikTok influencers pumping some ridiculous cash grab, and the community that was fostered that day, making it my favorite day in NFTs that I've had, you know, in this past year. I don't know if people are going to be able to experience it the same way that we did, because we kind of caught lightning in a bottle that day. But because of folks like Justin and Alan, I always pay it forward. Whenever anybody DMs me, tweets me with a silly question or needing help, I do it, and it's because of Justin and Alan and ETHoard and everybody else. So just wanted to share that.
Pay it forward,
That's
guys.
so nice. Thanks for saying that. That's something that's always been important for me. And I do wish, and I guess it was just inevitable, once you get like enough money going on in an ecosystem, that scammers are going to come around. But like, yeah, I mean, like I think if something happened today where somebody found it, it would be like a few people maybe that know about it, and they would bin it all out from a whole bunch of different wallets, and then they would try to like, you know, create the narrative. But like back then, it was still the time period where it was like, let's share this with everybody, you know, and like we all get some. Like we're not gonna get, you know, thousands of them. It's just not possible because there's too many people trying to get them. But it's more fun if everybody's doing it together. So yeah, I don't know if that. Yeah, you probably can't recreate that again, but that's in a way it makes it more special.
Did they get rid of the 100 emotion? I keep wanting to use that, and I'm like, where
Yeah,
is it?
bro.
Yeah, it's gone.
They
They
rugged it.
did.
It's
Why
so
did they do
sad,
that?
man.
It's terrible.
So
I know.
sad.
I
What the
love the
heck?
100.
Oh man,
Hard
You
as
got to
the
use
well,
like
that's
the
not fun.
clap
100.
emotion. It really is a poor
I know.
substitute,
Now
man.
it's like, yeah, and how many times are you gonna really want to do the like hand up? Is that supposed to be stop? I don't know. The options here are terrible.
I wish they had a fax machine.
I think JakeIP, you're up next, and this is we're gonna have a few people share stories who now work at Ponderware, and those are really touching. It's the rediscovery to like your new career pipeline.
Yeah, I mean, this is really a trip for me just because, yeah, a year ago, I was kind of like Rob PT, very, very new to the space. Um, had been playing with cryptocurrency and DeFi, but you know, nothing big. And of my friends, I probably knew the most, and so Top Shots were getting talked about a lot, and they would ask me about that, and I was like, I have no idea what this is, so I felt obligated to look into it, and kind of tried to find some people on Twitter that I could, as far as I could tell, had their finger on the pulse of the space, at least more so than I did. And I found Justin and Alan pretty quick. And not long after that, Justin was tweeting about CryptoCats, and I was priced out of CryptoCats pretty quickly. But there was something unique about the space at that time. it was buzzing. There was something was going on. There was some synergy that was you could kind of feel it. And so I felt like for the first time in my life, maybe being on Twitter was actually worth my time. Where like there would be some financial outcome that would be positive by actually spending time on Twitter. And the next morning, I could kind of feel it, and then I saw tweets from Justin and Alan, and Alan's process was really what walked me through everything. This was other than Axes, which I had played around with before this. This was my first, or really my second NFT, and absolutely my first manual interaction with a contract. It was so new; it almost felt like I was doing something really dumb or illegal, or because I'm not a developer, it felt like I was like hacking into the mainframe or something, trying to get like save these MoonCats, and it was so strange and felt wrong, but I just had to follow my gut because it felt worth doing, and there was a lot of buzz, and it was just so intoxicating to be around people that were in the same exact headspace as I was, just kind of trying to find something new and fun to engage in that, and people like making money as well. That was, of course, part of my motivation, but it was just a lot of fun. The Discord was a lot of fun. People were speculating about potential worth and traits, and I remember when the unofficial wrapper came out, like the first, the number 0 from the wrapper went for some crazy amount, like 10 ETH or more, and everyone in the chat just kind of got quiet because it just, we could tell something was happening, and that continued on. And I told my wife, and it's so crazy to tell people like, so I just invested money into MoonCats. Hopefully it works out. We'll see. And I knew I was going to hold on to them forever, and I still have those 2 cats that I minted largely because of Justin and Alan. They were so helpful, and Justin with the Discord and Alan with the process, and it was an absolute blast. And now here I am a year later working with ponderware. It's really an absolute trip. Couldn't be more appreciative, and the team at ponderware is so talented and fun to work with, and we all get along so well. I'm very, very hopeful for the future of MoonCats and ponderware more generally. There's a lot of fun stuff going on, and yeah, I just feel really grateful. This is a lot of fun, and yeah, thanks for having me up.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah, I mean, we're really glad to have you. And it's really exciting to have people, at ponderware who are part of that process and saw that magic firsthand. So I think Cat Dad, you were next.
Yeah, what's up, everybody?
How you doing?
Pretty good. It's crazy this has been already a year. It's really been such a whirlwind since then. I'm also like most people. I had never minted anything from ETH at the time. Actually, when MoonCats were rediscovered, I didn't own any ETH. I just wasn't familiar with the platform. I'd been in crypto for a long time, but I'd been mostly in the Bitcoin and Dogecoin community since like 2017. So I'd been watching NFTs for about a month then, and nothing really clicked to me. I saw punks, and that's when punks were like 5 ETH, and I was like, who would pay 5 ETH for a picture? It didn't make sense to me. From my personal background, I had owned an antique store in real life. So when MoonCats were rediscovered, and at the time they were considered, I think it was the second oldest NFT, which we know now is crazy. Maybe it's like 100th oldest NFT. That just like really clicked to me. And so once everything was happening, and with the minting, I opened up Alan's tweet of how to mint it, and it literally just looked like hieroglyphics to me. I was like, I have no idea how I'm about to go about this process. So I asked one of my buddies who I'd never met but also lived out in Vegas with me. I was like, what are these cat things? And he started throwing terms out which we use now, which I completely understand how newbies get frustrated. They're throwing out terms like generative, and I was like, I have no idea what that means, but sounds pretty cool. Then they talked about like bonding curve and naming mechanisms. I was like, this sounds cool. So I had to continue doing some research, and by that time everything was minted out. And then they threw another term on top of that, and they're like, these cats are being wrapped on OpenSea. And I was like, I don't even, what is wrapped? Is this new technology? Are these the same things? And So then I finally hopped in the Discord that Justin made and started looking at all the memes and the community that was being built. And man, since then, so I converted like a lot of my Dogecoin to ETH and just started aping into the cats. And one thing of being in crypto for a long time, I've learned that if you have high conviction in something, then you just really go all in. And that's what I've had ever since then. I'd been in crypto for, like I said, I mentioned, a long time, and I'd always wanted to be a part of something, but I never wanted to work for somebody. And for me, MoonCats felt like an entry point for my own personal brand, but also to really just partake in this growing NFT technology that I had no idea really what it even was. So it was a really, really cool moment. And the community in the Discord was fun because everyone was trying to figure out like what rarities were. All we had was like a little spreadsheet that I think ponderware somebody had made from back in 2017. So then we were buying like, I don't remember, it was like the OX000 everyone thought was rare, and then everyone's like, no, the year is rare. Then everyone's like, no, the character cats are rare. And at this point, then I was just like buying one of everything. And I was like, oh, this red cat looks cool. Oh, there's a white cat. Oh, there's named cats. And at that point, then you're up to like 100 cats. I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know what I'm doing at this point in time. So it was just like, it was a ton of fun. And it really taught me of how to interact with Etherscan, and kind of converted me to just be more of an ETH maxi than anything. So it was just an incredible time. And then towards the end of summer, I started realizing like, oh, there's a lot of information that needs to be said and created around MoonCats. So that's when I started creating the YouTube channel, and that helped onboard a lot of people. And then Sotheby's came, and now we're here. Now we're here today. So I always felt like I was a member of Ponderware, even though I'm not actually an official partner, but just a large advocate. And I've had made good friendships with everybody on the team, and yeah, just love the project. So it's really cool that we've made it this far, regardless of whatever the price is. We all know that MoonCats are going to make it. It's what the largest historical NFT community, and it's gonna be at the top some point in the future. And just that the community is always here to laugh about whatever's going on. It's quite different from most of the other communities out there. So happy 1 year Rediscovery anniversary to everybody.
Right on. We're really lucky to have you, and all the energy you bring and all of the onboarding you've done. Definitely been a pillar of the community. And right there from Rediscovery Day. Did you have something to jump in with, ETHoard?
Nope. I think he hasn't figured out that hand he's putting up. That that one, the one on the far right. That's like raising your hand in class. It's not like the high five. I thought it was a high five for a while as well, but
yeah,
that's
I
like
did too. Or like when he was,
I love it.
When Jake was saying, he's like, all these words I'd never heard before, and I was like, stop, that's too funny. But yeah, I miss some of the old emojis, and I'm just experimenting with ones I've never used before.
Right on. Yeah, there's a lot of terminology, and it's amazing to me that people cut through all of it to figure out what was going on, and went to Etherscan and just started calling functions on the smart contract. Really amazing. Digivitar, I think you're next.
Hey, GM. Hey, happy Rediscovery to everybody. This is such a crazy day. The fact that it's been a year. I personally missed the actual day. I remember seeing the tweets going out from Adam from Justin and Alan. And I remember, just like Adam, I went back and I was like, and I heard that, I had asked somebody I guess on Twitter, on DM or something, and they said, no, there's still like 20,000 left. And same thing. I was like, oh, I'll come back to this. I had been around in crypto working on some, shitcoin project like 2 years prior, and was really not into NFTs and was barely hearing about them at this time. And when I came back 2 days later, all the MoonCats were gone. They had all been minted. And I was like, what in the world? But they kept pushing. So I went to the MoonCatRescue site, and somebody had a walkthrough on how to actually, buy one off the site that was being offered. And I remember so many people were offering for cats that were not being offered. They were actually putting in an offer, and their ETH was getting stuck because they couldn't, like, the person had to deny the offer in order for them to get their ETH. So everybody was like, the ETH's getting stuck. And I went in there and I said, no, here, look, this is how you do it so that you don't offer ETH. You have to buy it if it's already being offered. So there was this confusion, and it was just so cool to be part of the community trying to figure out how to buy cats the second time around after they had like just recently been minted through the offer, through people offering on the actual MoonCatRescue page. And I actually bought my first, the 4 cats that I had. I still have 2 of them, but all 4, I actually rescued them all. Not rescued them, but bought them from the MoonCatRescue page, even though, because I actually like the acclimation portion later and all that. But either way, it was just this really cool experience to be pulled into this NFT space in such a crazy way. And what really got me excited was how excited this emerging community was. So I started being a designer and being a creative and all that. I started thinking, how do I help bring more excitement to the community? And for me, I just gotta be completely honest. Like, I know it's been a year, but MoonCats have completely changed like my life, like 100%. Like everything I do in this space now is because of MoonCats. They launched me as a creative, as an NFT artist in the space. Anybody who says that MoonCats are not good PFPs, my PFP proves you wrong because they look really cool. You just got to design it, So, but to go back to that moment, I remember just being just how can I bring more excitement to this community that's just already. I had never been part of something that was so full of energy. And there was a couple of key people. This guy, he's not in here. His name is AJ Colores. He's the one that really was pushing me towards some ideas that I had. And I don't want to go too far into the future, but after that, but I had this crazy idea to start creating these little like accessories for the cat. I started with a space helmet that I was doing as a PSD, as a Photoshop file. And I was telling everybody, do you want to put a space helmet on your cat? Here's the PSD file. If you don't know how to use Photoshop, then just tell me what color you want the helmet and I'll change it for you and just put it on your cat. And so people started putting these helmets on their cats. And I had like these really big Twitter, influencers or people who were coming to me like, hey, I want one. It's like, here's my Dropbox. Get your helmet. And just to jump forward for a second from then, I remember going into when the clubhouse was like popping off about the MoonCat clubhouse. And I went in there and there's a couple of people in this room that were there when I went in, and I said, hey guys, I have an idea. I'm going to start creating like Gucci belts and then 80s products for the for the MoonCats. Would you guys buy one? Would you guys pay like $20 for like a 5-pack of like 80s gear? Everybody's like, yeah, we'll do it. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll just start creating these things. And I was like, and I'll just send the files to everybody in the clubhouse for free. Just push it so that other people would like get it or whatever. And I remember doing one of I started working on all these little things on Photoshop and Illustrator. And I remember somebody came to me and said, if you really want to make that work, you should probably put it on chain. I was like, on chain? I don't even know what the hell that means. Like, how am I going to put anything on chain? I'm creating PNG files so that people could just put it on their, on their cat with an app or something. Put it on chain. What are you talking about? And so I have no idea what that meant. And then, I don't mean to jump all the way forward. I just want to just share real quick how this has changed my life. Coming towards July, which was not too far after the Rediscovery, somebody told me to hit the ponderware team up because they were actually creating on-chain accessories. And that, since I was like messing around with just creating or customizing the MoonCats with stuff, that might be a good. And I was thinking they're not going to listen to me. They're dealing with this new rediscovery. And you know what? The team at Ponderware has been so awesome. Pause and just everybody else. From the moment that I approached them, they took me in and have cared for me. And I, even though I'm not officially part of the team in any way, I feel like an in-house creative who they have 100% supported me in such a way that it's completely changed my life. I mean, because of MoonCats, because of Cat Dad and him being called to Sotheby's as a collector of MoonCats and Mr. Moo, I officially became a Sotheby's artist, a pixel artist. Why? Because I created a one-of-one for Cat Dad's cat. So all of a sudden, MoonCats, I'm at Sotheby's. I'm like, what? This is insane, right? And so all that to say, MoonCats has changed my life. The Ponderware team is absolutely amazing. They're innovative. Everybody in the community has helped me grow, and I want to continue to try and contribute and give back. But I remember, a year ago, about 72 hours after the rediscovery happened, I'm over there. I'm like, rescuing, a couple or buying a couple cats from the offers and thinking, this is cool. This is my first foray into NFTs. And to think that I would be, a year later, a featured artist on the Ponderware boutique, have a shop that's completely changed my life. Have made enough ETH over the course of a year selling accessories, right? That ended up going on chain. Quick funny story. I remember when I was talking to Paz, it was like a Wednesday, and she's like, "Yeah, why don't you be a featured artist? We're about to drop the boutique." I was like, "All right, how much time do I have?" She's like, "You have till like Saturday because it drops on Sunday." I was like, "What?" And then I had to go into their designer to redesign everything. I couldn't import anything. I was like, I'm really confused on how this designer works. It's not like Illustrator, but in the end, what an amazing, amazing journey. And I'm really happy to be a part of this community and just be working with the team in the ways that I have and how they've supported me. And thank you, everybody. Pretty awesome and amazing stuff.
Likewise. And I keep saying it, but it's true. We're very lucky to have you. It's been great collabing with you, and I love all of your accessories.
Thank you guys so much. Seriously, you guys have supported me in a way like if I'm a child. Like I feel like so supported. I feel like I'm part of the family. I feel like I work with you guys and for you guys, and I don't. I'm just a creator. And so I mean, this is right now just an opportunity to even tell anybody who wants to create with the Ponderware team, who want the support you get is crazy. It's crazy. It's pretty freaking awesome. I haven't seen anything like that in any other community in the space.
Thanks so much, Digi.
I was just going to say, that's the cool part is anyone right now, if you want to create an NFT, you can do it right now on the MoonCats website, the community website on the boutique. Like anyone could go on there, create pixel art and sell it to the community. It's super cool. And Digi's a prime example of that. Just phenomenal art.
Also, one of my favorite companies may or may not be releasing official accessories, which we can talk about in a bit. But I think there's some more stories to get to. TuskTusk, another Ponderware employee now.
What's up?
Hey.
Yo, Digi, I love that story so much. MoonCats boutique to Sotheby's alongside Jake, and it just shows multiple avenues to get there. Again, and it's MoonCats pulling in people like a freaking black hole. You think of most projects going out trying to lasso and wrangle people. MoonCats has a really great way of just attracting talent to it. I think a lot about the MoonCat Walk Cycle team that just, got, 25,440 MoonCat Walk Cycles done. I mean, we have unbelievable talent in the group that just finds its way to us. It's also just, really cool and striking today, listening and tracing back these threads, and you hear so many common names and kind of junctions of the story. It rhymes and if not repeats in some places, right? So it's like I came up in the Gods Unchained area, and I was young and naive, and I thought that video games and NFTs and play to earn, that was the future, right? And it was all going to come together in 2019. Anyway, flash forward, and it's not panning out. 2021, Beeple's popping off. And there was a crazy morning where I was just asleep, and I sat bolt upright in bed. And we joke about this a lot. Like, I must have been sent a signal from the simulation or something. But I just said, something's happening on the internet. And my girlfriend looks at me typically like I'm crazy, but this one was extra crazy this morning. I ran to Discord. I was on the Gods Unchained trading chat, which the DGen channel at the time was pretty poppin'. This was like early 2021. And, like others, Cry was in there, helping people. Something's going down with a project called MoonCats. Somebody named Alan, just dropped this how-to on how to get in there. And it was madness. It was absolute chaos. And, I was overwhelmed in the flow of everything, kind of gut punched, and, trying to follow along. I had never called a contract before. And just trying to follow along desperately to be part of something that felt like, it was happening. I didn't understand it at the time, but I just felt like being part of something. And yeah, like Jake said, it felt illegal, at the time. I didn't know what I was doing, but I will say it felt supported all the way through by borderline strangers. And I think that ethos really kind of carried forward. I mean, I came out of the situation with 3 cats, including this yellow PFP of mine, which is now my most treasured NFT. And it was an aha moment. Digi talks about buying on secondary and feeling that ethos and feeling that aha moment on secondary. And that's true because, it really carried through on all levels. It wasn't just the claim. It was the zeitgeist of the moment, how it went down, how people supported each other, what that was kind of showing in the space. Yeah, it was really nuts. In that follow-up week, I traded triple zeros for a little bit and was kind of caught up in all of that rapper stuff. The reestablishing contact to the Moonbase tweet dropped, and I lost my mind, with everybody. It's always kind of been, one aha moment after another with MoonCats. And to me, as an art history nerd, kind of before all of this, it's always been through the lens of like, wow, this is my first interaction with an NFT where, the medium behind it is really driving the functionality of the art and what makes the art here special. And not just the art. I mean, it's driving the ethos behind the project too, right? It's provable provenance with digital art assets. Yeah, for the first time in human history. And I really think about this, a lot. This idea that, not just in Rediscovery, MoonCats were growing and changing kind of with us very quickly. They still continue to do this. I was talking to Jurfles the other day. In art history, there's this concept of a palimpsest, right? And it's this nerdy term, but basically it's a layered manuscript or piece of artwork. And basically it's layered with previous iterations of itself, and the artwork is redone on top of the previous artwork. MoonCats is the first example of this, in the world, where we have on-chain provable provenance through history and really an ongoing saga story evolving, which with each cat is going to be radically different, 100 years from now. They all started from a single claim, and it's kind of crazy to think that none of those litters, knew their siblings beforehand. None of that data was set in stone. It only emerged after the entirety of MoonCats were rescued, that you found out who was in your litter, who you were related to, who had similar style and taste to you. Every MoonCat was chosen. And from here, they just continue to change, layer after layer after layer. And that's mind-blowing to me. Absolutely mind-blowing to me. And that's a big one of my drivers in getting into the boutique and just pixelating every day is helping MoonCats change. And, having an on-chain boutique experience is absolutely unreal. You can now carry that change with you. Be what you want to be, go be yourself in a metaverse. MoonCats was the eye-opener for me. It's kind of funny that came out of left field after thinking that the big eye-opener was going to be play to earn and, digital Hearthstone playing cards, right? So I am incredibly grateful to MoonCats, and more importantly, I think I'm incredibly grateful for the talent and ethos that it attracts. And everybody here played a very special role in kind of my trajectory and getting involved here, and now being full time. So it's going to be great to just pull the rope from this angle.
Right on. I love that I get to work with you every day, and I'm really glad you brought up palimpsests. I think I'm saying that right. Yeah.
Yeah. The palimpsest. Anybody who knows me now knows that, like, you know, I freak out about that term a lot because, you know, MoonCats are like onions.
Many layers. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Very grateful to have you part of Ponderware. Yeah, up next we have In an Airplane.
How's it going, guys? Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Some of you probably know my story. I missed Discovery Day. I was still trading Dogecoin at the time, but I had minted some cats with our good friends James and Dante back in 2017. I was hanging out with them while they were minting those cats, and they hit me up late April, and they're like, "Hey, remember those MoonCats we were minting several years ago? They are popping off." So they graciously sent me the cats that I was picking out during the minting process, and here I am. It was kind of crazy to see what NFTs had turned into, and I think, like TuskTusk had said, I kind of figured it would turn into some sort of Neopets, some kind of decentralized Neopets. But as time went on, there were actually sort of less pet-like NFTs. There was, the 2017-18 sort of like more abstract curio cards and way cards and things like that. But yeah, I expected, much like TuskTusk, there to be a large sort of play-to-earn aspect to NFT gaming, and I kind of just forgot about NFTs, went back to the Dogecoin, went back to the crap coin, but I was really taken just by how strong the communities were. It was a lot like, early day AOL chat, Neopet chat type stuff, but it was more adult, it was more sophisticated, and it was more creative. And, I very quickly was able to jump in with Dante and James for brand name here. And one of the cool things about MoonCats is sort of the ownership aspect of MoonCats. MoonCats owning their own NFTs, MoonCats sort of owning their own legacy. So I think it's all been really crazy. It's really opened up a lot of doors for me too. I don't work for Ponderware, but sometimes I feel like I do. And I've gotten to know a lot of you guys really well, and it's just been really awesome.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. It's been great collabing. Shout out to MoonCat Pop. If anyone else wants to share their story, please request to speak, and I'll invite you to the stage. I might have to start booting some people from the stage. So if you've finished sharing, you can also just step down.
I'm gonna go, guys. Thank you so much. This has been awesome, but I'm gonna go watch the SEC tournament. But I love all you guys. I wish all the best. I'm super optimistic about the future, and yeah, man, let's just keep things rolling along.
Thanks so much, Justin.
Thank you.
Take it easy, Justin.
Hey, Acid Man.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. I'm about to step out, but I just want to share my story real quick. but yeah, 1 year. Shout out to the guy who I met on Discord, Price Frame. Basically, I was basically working for him, and then he texted me, like, "Hey, check this out. Mint it before before it's gone." So I didn't know how to interact with a smart contract at all. That was my first time interacting with a smart contract, and of course I clicked that withdraw button on that smart contract, and I didn't see my cat for a long time after that. Like everybody was like wrapping them and stuff like that, but I didn't know if I messed up or burned my cat. So that was my story. But I know I rescued the blue cat. I know I rescued my favorite. I only had one cat. It was my favorite color. So losing that cat was just like I didn't know how to handle that. I wanted to rescue one. There's something about like seeing it on Etherscan or an OpenSea that that stroller, that you minted it. So that was really special. But yeah, fast forward a year from now, 2017 project is now a pet, like what you guys are saying. And yeah, it's just amazing to me, like how one of the oldest projects out there is also one of the most innovative and advanced NFT projects out there. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, just wanted to share that real quick. I'm wearing my MoonCat hoodie now, and I'm about to step out. So that's it.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah, Asaman has some pretty good merch. And just another reminder that under the MoonCat license, you can make merch with your MoonCats.
Yeah. Anyway, happy Rediscovery Day, and I'll see you guys later. I'll keep listening in the car. Bye.
Bye. Happy Rediscovery Day. If anyone else wants to share, just request and I'll bring you up. In the meantime, I can talk about how my Rediscovery Day went. So I had no idea any of this was happening, as ETHoard pointed out. But it's kind of funny because a couple months before March 12th, I was working as a codification attorney / developer at a small not-for-profit, a very niche job. And I told the CEO, hey, I want to move on with my career. I want to do something else. So I knew it was going to take a while to train someone else to do my job. So I just knew that was going to be down the road 6 months to a year, but I wanted to start making that transition. And in March, I actually started taking Fridays off, and I knew I wanted to get back into blockchain, but I wasn't quite sure how. And so March 12th was actually my second Friday off. And I spent the day just like looking into how quadratic funding worked, because I'd been hearing a lot about it and about public goods on Ethereum. And it's so funny because that evening, I reached out to ETHoard and he let me know what happened. And it was like, wow, it's like the universe just answered, my request. It was a stressful year balancing everything. So you don't always get to your, what you want, how you want it. But I wouldn't change anything. And it really was this natural step in my life, which is really funny.
That's really crazy. 'Cause I'd never heard that part of the story, because basically the same thing happened. Obviously, it's like the same day almost with Travis from Curio Cards. I don't know if you know that story, but he literally sent out a tweet, which I think was like Friday. So Ponderware, I guess you guys were like, it was yours Friday. I can't remember the exact day, but the next day, Curio Cards was rediscovered, and the day before, which was the MoonCats day, he sent out a tweet like, "Last day of work, got to figure out what I'm doing next." Like literally.
Nice.
And then the next day, boom, the universe responds, right? It's incredible.
That's awesome. Yeah. That might have been a little smoother.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's funny how there's all these serendipitous moments tied up with the rediscovery. Hey, Cybercode twins. Do you have a story to share?
Hello. Hi.
Hey.
Yeah, I remember as everybody was like going crazy about their crypto cats, and then the next day, like MoonCats were discovered. I was like, wow, that is some crazy turn of history right there. You guys remember? But yeah, and then my sister's like, I'm gonna spend it on these. We make sure to have on these NFTs. It's like, well, it wasn't our first NFT because we used to like mint crypto kitties back then. Didn't turn out very well, but yeah, like MoonCats brought us back into NFTs, and she's like, I'm gonna get a couple, and I'm like, okay, I thought she was gonna mint like 2 or 3, and then she minted like out like 14, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Why are you spending $200? Is it? Oh, they're free. It's like, but the gas is like $20. I was like so skeptical.
Oh, you wish gas was $20,
then. But yeah, it was like really, really awesome. And I'm like, okay, what color do you want? I don't know what's the difference. Whoever was that contract dev that got the Genesis, I was like, I can't read this fucking contract. It's like, what's going on? It's like the pressure is on. I'm gonna just get as many fucking cats as we can.
Originally, I was like,
our max budget was like 200 at that time, so I was just like, okay.
It was just some lunch money I put on the side.
Yeah, but we were following Debussy and Justin, so if it wasn't for them, sending the steps out, because I'm like, I don't remember. It's been a while, like minting it through the contract. I said, okay, so going to EtherScan, I'm like, this number's okay. I hope they have some steps soon. I'm just putting in some numbers. But yeah, my sister was the one who's like, hey, I need some ETH. I'm like, okay, fine, here. And then you're trying to explain to your parents you bought some cats, and they're like, okay.
They made fun of us.
They kept making fun.
My brother's like, what is these cats? I have a real cat. That's what my brother said to me. He's like, what are you doing with these additional cats?
It's like, no, I can't do anything with them yet. And then it was like, well,
Ponderware came back. I was like,
yeah, we were really happy that Ponderware came back, a couple months after that, I think it was. Or was it a couple weeks? I can't remember. It's just it passed by so fast.
I mean, we were making sure that we don't throw our cats into OpenSea or any unapproved wrapper. I'm like, we already been in that situation, but don't throw things at it.
The MoonCat community got us like more involved in other NFTs. I remember like Bitcoin for Bernie, one of the other MoonCatters. He was like getting me into courier cards the next day, and then other people were like, they're like, oh, we're discovering like how to mint through more contracts. So like to me, like MoonCat's always that special NFT where like, hey, I minted this from bird. It's kind of like rescuing a cat from a tree, but you rescued it from the moon. So it's just like yeah, so it's like it's really cool. Now we have like I think 8 MoonCats, right? Yeah,
7 or 8.
No, I think we have 8 MoonCats. One we gave to our friend Veronica. She's like a VR AR metaverse builder. Because she always were like, you're so obsessed with these MoonCats. It's like yeah, you got to take care of it. I was like, it took like 6 to 8 months of hand holding to make sure she doesn't lose this cat that we're gonna give her. So it was just one way to like just have her understand what's going on in the community. But yeah, it was really special. Anything you want to share, sis?
You basically spoke for me, but okay.
Oh, yeah, that's our story. So happy anniversary, guys!
And it was cool to meet Ponderware at the event.
ETH Denver, yeah.
And ETH Denver and the one in New York, right?
Yeah,
I was so excited.
Always wearing her MoonCat hoodie.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Acid Man. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great meeting you two. In NFT NYC, and I back to the Rediscovery. I'll always remember the memes you were making. They're some of my favorites. During that time.
I'm making crazy memes.
It is really funny.
Sorry, Twins. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to you guys. Are always retweeting some of the best stuff. It's like whenever I miss stuff on Twitter, don't spend enough time these days on there. I kind of just check out, okay, what have you been retweeting? And I feel like I'm all caught up. So maybe because there's 2 of you, but you guys do an amazing job, and especially consistently supporting all the MoonCat stuff too.
So we're almost up with time. So if you do want to share a story, request to speak now, and I'll let you up. I do want to talk about how funny it is to tell people what I do day to day, or during Rediscovery, trying to explain to my friends and family what was going on, and it's just funny the reactions you get from like people just thinking you're a complete idiot to people like some people encouraging me to just pull the rug on the community. I'm like, you have to make money off of this. Like, nope. Like, so you're putting in all of this work and you gave away all of the cats, and you're just grinding on this thing, and and you're not going to make millions. But it was never about that. But it's still very hard to tell people what I do.
Oh, speaking, I'll say something to that real quick. Speaking about talking to family, like, what are you doing these days, Alex? Because my name's Alex, by the way. So, what are you doing? And I'm like, yeah, I just created this pixel art, and I made like, what? You're making pixel? Like, who the hell would buy pixel art? And I'm like, well, they're not actually buying just pixel art. They're actually buying it as accessories for a MoonCat. What in God's name is a MoonCat? And I'm like, you know what? Forget it. I'm designing. You know. It's freaking hilarious. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to AJ Colores, who's in the audience. I mean, if seriously, AJ, if it wasn't for just who you are, your enthusiasm, and how you pushed and made me feel supported, just by the way you pushed me, I wouldn't have gotten connected with the MoonCats the way I did and be where I'm at. So I need to shout you out, bro. And at the same time, whenever you're in my hood, bro, like, I owe you dinner and like a movie and like wine. I don't know, whatever. Love you, bro.
So it looks like we're gonna wrap up. I do have a couple things to say before we do wrap up. First, we heard a lot of great stories here today, and if you would like to memorialize your story, please go to the MoonCats Discord and leave it in the Rediscovery Memories channel. We're going to be collecting them, and we'll do something special with all of the stories. Second, Monster Cat is going to be releasing official Monster Cat accessories in the boutique, so stay tuned this week to learn more about that. I'm personally very excited about that. Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone in the community from Rediscovery Day till now. Even if you weren't there for Rediscovery Day, you know, big shout out to Anna Marie and Dan and Mark and Art Bro, and you know, Brooks couldn't make it today. He had some other obligations, but you know, we wouldn't be here without him either. And you know, everyone else at Ponderware. This project would not be what it is without each and every one of you, and it wouldn't be meaningful without you. And it's changed my life, and it sounds like it's changed a lot of other people's lives, and I'm just so grateful to be a part of that.
Yeah, I definitely huge thanks to everyone who shared their stories and everyone who's been a part of the community. The way MoonCats have brought people together has been one of the most magical and gratifying things about it. You know, when we went to NFT NYC, one of our magic moments was we wandered off to get some Korean barbecue, and outside the restaurant, we encountered a trio who had become friends and bonded over the MoonCat Rediscovery, and we're now traveling together to New York to hang out around NFT NYC, and just like the enthusiasm and the excitement and the way that MoonCats have made relationships and connected so many people has just been phenomenal, and very grateful to be a part of that.
100%. Yeah, so with that, we'll end it. Happy Rediscovery Day. Please go on, maybe rediscover something else in your life. And I appreciate all of you. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Bye, everyone.